Now an unmentionable, a story you won't hear anywhere in the liberal national media, or nearly all of the national liberal media. Hollywood is once again trying to indoctrinate our children. 2 new films out this year, plainly with an agenda, plainly demonizing the so-called 1% and espousing the virtue of green energy policies, come what may. The first one is an animated feature from Japan entitled The Secret World of Ariete. It tells the story of a 4-inch tall family that survives by borrowing things from their human counterparts.
What are borrowers?
My mother, father, and I are all borrowers. We borrow things that beans won't miss if they're gone. Just little things, soap and cookies and sugar, all things that we need to survive.
And then there's the Lorax, an adaptation of the classic Dr. Seuss children's book. The movie, set to be released nationwide next month, is about a woodland creature who speaks for the trees and fights rampant industrialism.
It all started a long time ago when I accidentally summoned a mystical creature as old as time itself, the Lorax.
Hey! Did you chop down this tree?
What's that?
I think he did it.
Universal Pictures also promoting the movie, partnering with companies to push eco-friendly products. So where have we all heard this before? Occupy Wall Street forever trying to pit the makers against the takers, and President Obama repeating that everyone should pay their fair share in dozens of speeches since his State of the Union address last month.
Everyone gets a fair shot, and everyone does their fair share.
When Americans talk about folks like me paying my fair share in taxes, and we're going to restore those American values of fair play and responsibility, Americans who can't afford it should pay their fair share.
And that everybody should get a fair shot, and everybody should do their fair share.
Well, fair share. The president's liberal friends in Hollywood targeting a younger demographic using animated movies to sell their agenda to children. Well, joining me now, 3 of my favorite American voices: radio talk show host Steve Cochran, radio talk show host Matt Patrick, Dom Giordano, also radio talk show host. Great to have you with us. I think we should say talk show host Hall. Cochran, let me start with you. You've got to be worried about this sort of insidious nonsense from Hollywood. What say you?
Not so much worried, because I know the people in Hollywood, and frankly, they're not that bright. You know, too many times we give up parenting to other people, and it's our job to parent, and it's our job to course correct if our kids are getting a message we don't agree with in our own household. So if you're taking your kid to a movie like that, it's probably because you want to see that message to begin with. I just don't think Hollywood's got that kind of power in the big picture, and I refuse to allow parents off the hook to say they do.
All right, Don?
Well, I think parents, I agree with that, Lou, but you know what? Parents need a break also. We need a safe harbor. I remember when Nickelodeon started doing this stuff. The Muppets were at the National Press Club, and they had this Muppet that's happy at school to get, I think it's 3 meals a day now. So I agree with the premise, it's the parents, but give us a break. Give us a safe harbor occasionally.
And
you don't get a break as a parent.
You want a break, or?
Well, listen. These guys are right. What we're doing is we're creating toddlers. Here's what I would recommend. If you want to go see the movie, and we all know what the agenda is, buy like huge tubs of popcorn, ram them in your face. They're all made of paper. Then you crinkle it all up, you throw it on the floor, you walk out, you spend all kinds of money on stuff, and you leave it on the floor. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you go into the movie theaters and you actually fight back against this message. We don't need any more borrowers. We don't need any more toddlers, Lou.
Well, you know, Lou, the problem I'd have with that, Lou, is my first job was in a movie theater, and cleaning theaters really isn't a whole lot of fun. So, you know.
Come on.
Until you actually have the room in a theater.
And after that, you may have clerked at the Supreme Court, because we're going to take up the next case on the Supreme Court's docket. A landmark case. We're going to continue with the American voices here in just a moment. Also, he says we're witnessing the suicide